Damn it! Who do they think they are? I am not going to abandon my principles just because my clients want so. I am tired of others trying to dictate my life. I am sick of them staring at me, only giving approval whenever I fit into their worldviews, constantly criticized for how I present myself. They even have people watching after me so I don't do anything stupid. I have to do something. Maybe I'm seeing things from a wrong perspective.
I've done videos in the past on not caring about how people perceive you, but you should still hear me out on this one. I want you to think about all the things that have made this human experience to what it is today. External, of course, things that we have grown to love and hate, things that we have become accustomed to. There are pros and cons with everything in life, and a great advantage that we have over our ancestors is the safety and security that we sometimes take for granted, or many times. The drive to create and build wouldn't be there if human species acted as loners and lived for themselves. I've mentioned in previous videos how our domineering position on planet Earth can be attributed to our social nature. We have made a strong case for teamwork, and almost like ants, we have colonized every single corner on this planet. Now every team, every social establishment has to have some sort of an order to function and be effective. A leader to show the way. That order is nothing without a hierarchy. Because as a complex organism, a human group has to have a head, brains, and body, muscles. And yes, during the old times, the brains had to have muscles too, in order to scare off potential contenders. Bottom line, there are no positions to a point without a common consensus. For there to be a leader, the majority of the community has to acknowledge the competence, the wisdom of that leader. And with that being said, we should care about how people perceive us. Otherwise, we won't make any progress through that hierarchy. And as Mother Nature has decided for all of us, the purpose of life, the universe, and the constant expansion of the consciousness, the bigger, the better. Now, let me explain the difference between these two messages, not caring and caring about others' perception, lies. When others' opinions, psychological pressure affects you mentally, interferes with your daily life, when you lose your edge and slow down on performance, then it becomes an issue of self-image and esteem. You care for how people perceive you because you are not complete yourself. At least it's what you think. Everything in life seeks a perfect balance. And when there's a sense of lacking, low worth, and the person doesn't take the time to find it within, it becomes a natural progression for that void to get filled from without, which most likely leads to a skewed representation of the personality. Suffering. On the other hand, if you feel in control, and don't get overflown or disrupted by external feedback, you feel comfortable with yourself and your self-esteem is on a healthy level, then you handle critique with a rational and detached mind. That being said, you don't take the external feedback personally and use it to adapt to your circumstances, to create an image, to gain advantage, an edge within the community that you're navigating through. Let's take clothing as an example to illustrate this principle. If my self-esteem is damaged, then my eventual liking of fashion could be based upon approval seeking. In other words, I purchase clothes just to feel accepted in a way. I spend money on expensive brands just so people perceive me as being somebody, because in my mind, demonstrating financial well-being through faking or otherwise will help me to gain status and eventually reach the happiness that I desire. So if I look poor, I am nobody. And nobody likes nobodies. No bueno. If we approach the same constellation from a different angle, where I'm quite confident and have love for myself, I would use clothing as a means of communication, but only if I'm in a financial position to do that, because I know that people judge a book by its cover and are drawn to success. Instinctively, we know that by associating with success, we increase the probability of getting there, or even want to trade up the current social circle for something that represents our current situation or the place that we want to be. You know, birds of a feather flock together. If I am or want to be successful, I should surround myself with like-minded. So if I choose to purchase a fancy suit, it would be solely because I have an agenda, which in a grand scheme of things is to move up through this social ladder, consciously having a bigger purpose behind that purchase. Call it social engineering if you want. But you can only fake things for so long if you choose to take that route. Same goes for a fitness body. It becomes a big part of your image. When people see you without having a slightest understanding of who you are and what you do, you automatically get social points because they see you representing hard work through mere presence of a good physique. We all should care about how people perceive us if we want to get somewhere in life. Otherwise, it's impossible. Every step that we take in the right direction is only possible because of these unwritten rules, social constructions, traditions, and cultural nuances.
Realize this. You already act according to societal evaluation of what's for common good or not, just by selecting a career path for yourself, or any other adaptation to circumstances. Guys dress in a certain way or have tattoos because they want to attract girls. Or girls have some type of hairdo or makeup because they want to be pretty for guys. Thinking that being sexy, pretty, or cool is done solely for personal liking is delusional. Because for things to have an identifying adjective, there has to be an outsider, an observer, someone who isn't you. All I'm saying is that if you're aware of that, if you're cognizant and self-aware, you can use that knowledge to improve your self-esteem and your position in the social order.
You shouldn't care through giving away your power and lowering your worth as a human being, but you should care so you can identify the measurements that will take you closer to the top, one step at a time. Hossein out.